Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. Welcome to my channel. It's my daily vlog, so whatever I'm up to is what you're gonna see. And I'm still stuck on the couch today, but I figured since I'm staying put, let me show you a little crafting something today. So I started the year with a new temperature blanket. We wrapped up the old temperature blanket and we started a new one. And for the new one, I've been doing skull-centered granny squares. So that is the theme. The skull color, it denotes the temperature of that day, the high temperature of that day. And then I'm doing a granny square around it. But sometimes when you're doing them, they come out a little crooked or lopsided, or the skull isn't fully defined. So after I make them, I'm doing what's called blocking, which basically means that I'm getting the square wet, and then I'm putting it on a board and I'm putting it in the shape I want it to be when it's done. So that's blocking. So I figured I would do a quick little demo of how I'm blocking these squares. I found a quick and easy and inexpensive way of doing it. So let me show you what I'm doing. So these ones are dry, so I can show you as I take them off. But basically, these are my skulls in the center. That's the high temperature for the day. And I had them pinned in place so that they hold this shape that I wanted them to have. So you could see it's a pretty well-defined square. You know, at first it was a little bit wonky. It was a little bit more diamondy, like it was like stretched and a little, you know, deformed. And I just put it on here and had it create the shape I wanted it to stay in. So as I take all this off, there we go. So it's pretty straightforward what I did. I just took a cork board, like a push pin board, and some push pins. And I have the push pins in place for where I need it to hold. So let me show you. I'm going to go take my next two squares. I'm going to get them a little damp with cold water, and I'm going to put them on here. So before I bring these to the sink, I just wanted to show you how they're not like perfectly square, right? They're a little bit wonky, right? It's like curved at the bottom. This goes straight and then bulges. So they're not perfectly shaped. So that's the before image. So I went to the sink and I just wet them with cold water. So they're kind of damp, kind of a little damp to the touch. I don't want them dripping. They're not dripping wet, but they're just damp. And if you don't want to run it underwater in the sink, if you have a spray bottle, you could put it on the board in shape and spray it. That's another option. But for me, I got them damp, wrung them out, and I'm going to be shaping them on the board. Okay, so here's my first one. I find the corner and I hook it there, and there's that corner. And I'll worry about the middle pieces once the corners are in place. Okay, so now I'm going to loop that there, and that can go there. And see how I don't want it to dry like that. I want this to be up here. And you could always add more pins or move the pins around if they're not holding in the right place. So then same thing here. This one is going to share the corners, which I find helpful because it creates like opposing tension. But like sometimes you can just sort of like by hand pull it into place. Sometimes you do need an extra pin. But there we go. Let me see. That's there. Okay, there we go. And now this just has to sit and dry. If you're patient, you could just put this off to the side, it'll dry. It usually takes about 6 to 8 hours to fully dry. You don't want to take it off prematurely. If you are not that patient or you need to do it faster, you can take a hairdryer, but you have to be very careful because heat can damage certain types of yarn. So you have to be very careful about that. And I am patient. I'm just going to go put this on the bookshelf and we'll check it later on today. I am back and a little bit of time has passed, like many hours, and these are now dry. So looks the same, right? They're just still tacked onto the board. So now I'm going to take them off and you could see what a difference it makes. So we'll just unhook one by one. And look at that. Compared to how it was when we first put it on, that is so much more formed. It's like an intended shape, which is exactly what we're going for. So we'll take the other one off and then I'm gonna keep blocking the ones that are remaining, but we did it. We got our blocked square. So pretty soon we're gonna start to attach them to each other. But this is where I'm at. So that is how you block granny squares or any piece of knitting or crocheting that you're trying to get to hold a shape a little bit better. So again, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to moisten it with a little bit of water, wring it out, like it just has to be a little damp. It doesn't have to be dripping wet, just damp. And then you position it on a board and tack it into place for exactly how you want it to lay when it's all done. The only thing to be aware of, once you have a finished product, once you're done making whatever craft it is, if you wash it, there's gonna be a chance it loses its shape. But by blocking it, you're sort of training the fibers that this is the position you want it to go to. So that's how I do blocking for my granny squares. So I hope that's helpful. And with that, I'm done for today. I'll see everybody real soon. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.